This is the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Did Hyundai make the right changes? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day, and I apologize that it's taken me so long to get my hands on one of these new Palisades, but I'm going to give you all of the details and tell you what you can expect if this is something you want to buy. As of the time I'm making this video, it is available. This is going to be the calligraphy trim level. Check out the link down in the description of the video to learn more. A very distinctive design, that's for sure. It doesn't look like anything else that's out there on the road. And you'll notice your very large turn signal indicators right here and daytime running lights. Everything is LED. You've got your LED headlights and the sensors down here. Like I say, a unique look with the grille, a couple of different finishes here. You'll find kind of almost hidden away if you don't look carefully. There is your front camera, the Hyundai logo, and the shut line for the hood is right here. It seems like it should be down here, and why is that? For the technicians out there, they have to get a little further over into the engine compartment than they would if the hood was all the way down here instead. But that's the way it's designed. On this particular model, you will find 21-inch wheels. It is all-wheel drive, and you're going to find all of the features you want here with your side view mirrors. Now, what's very interesting here is that you do have the turn signal indicators built in, not only here in the front, but also here on the side into the rear area. So a lot going on there. I like that it's in a couple of different positions. It looks nice. Heated and power adjustable, and they're also going to be power folding. This button, there's a button right there. You push that, they fold in just like that. And for those who are curious to know, I'll turn around here and give you a quick look at the remote. Lock, unlock, remote start. You got your panic button right there. Everything is here that you want, even a few more buttons on the side. Also can take advantage of Smart Park Assist if you want to do that. For those of you who are not fans of gloss black, you're going to have a brushed aluminum finish in quite a few different areas here. The lower portion of the body down there, also with the treatment around the top portion of the windows, even all the way back here. Do you think that's too much? Tell me what your thoughts are where that's concerned. Also, the same we're going to have with our roof rails up top, and we'll have the rear window spoiler that neatly conceals away the rear window spoiler. The Palisade logo and a Hyundai logo is back here. Now, something that's very interesting is you're going to notice the same design with our taillights that we had with our headlights. However, there is a big difference here, and that is going to be the turn signal indicators. On the front end, this whole area doubles as a turn signal, but not the case back here. It's a lot smaller. What do you think about that? I know some people like for those things to match up, but maybe not a big deal for most potential buyers. For those of you who want a hybrid powertrain, that is available in excess of 300 horsepower and 300 pounds-feet of torque. Now, in this case, for those of you who don't want a hybrid powertrain, you also have the opportunity to go with the 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 that puts out 290 horsepower and 268 pounds-feet of torque, all-wheel drive on this calligraphy trim level. And how about your MPGs? 18 city, 24 highway, 20 combined, and 5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. You do not have capless fuel fill. Instead, you have a gas cap right here, and the gas tank size is 18.8 gallons in capacity. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds, and there are numerous ways, including the button on the tailgate itself to open your power tailgate, as you can see. And if you want to change the height of this tailgate, whether it's lowering it like this or if you need to raise it up to full opening capacity, all you're going to do is move it into the position that you want and then hold down the button right here and listen for the beeps. And when you hear those 2 beeps, you have successfully reset the opening height of your power tailgate. Now, it does depend on what you need as far as that goes. Some people will leave it open all the way, or where it can open all the way, or you can do that. Just depends on the height of the ceiling, where you're parking, or whatever your situation is. And to move it back into place, or wherever you want it to be, you just repeat that same process. It's that simple. Something else that I know will make a lot of people happy will be the presence of a spare tire. Let me get down here and show you. It's located underneath the vehicle. Depending on how you set things up with cargo capacity, you can go from 18 cubic feet to 45.8 to 86.4 cubic feet. And all of your seats are lowered with the buttons right here. And you can see that you have several different options for lowering and raising the middle row, the back row, or you can hit all right here and everything will automatically start going down as far as the seats go. Let you see all of that in action. You can see that 3 of the seats, now the 4th is going down there. Pretty simple to deal with, or you can do them one at a time. You can do 1 row at a time, whatever it is you want to do, and then we can raise everything back up. And you'll still have the rear sunroof and the front sunroof. We're going to take a closer look at that here when we hop inside of the 2nd and 3rd rows. Also, the 12-volt power outlet. One thing I did want to make sure I covered here with the side view mirrors. When you lock the Palisade, they're going to fold in like that. And then when you unlock it, they will automatically unfold. Let's talk about what your 2nd and 3rd row passengers are going to find. Plenty of room with the armrest right here. And the door bin offers some space as well. We'll have a cup holder up here. And this is the door handle. Very interesting design. We will also have the shade right here. And you can see all of the controls for the power seats. Now there are 2 ways to get these seats up and out of the way. We can use the button right here. There is also a button located on top of the seat. And just to let you see in real time how long this takes, it's not the slowest I've ever seen. It's also not the fastest. And you can see the tracks right down here. That means that these seats can move back and forth and help to increase leg space for 3rd row passengers. And something that will make 3rd row passengers happy right here, you can change the position of the seat back. You can recline that or take some recline out. You can also change how far forward or back the seat is. So another way to help out with leg space is these seats can be moved back. They're also heated only, not ventilated. Would be nice to have both. And then there is the USB port and a couple of cup holders. And obviously, you're going to have the same thing over there on the passenger side. Something else that I have to give a thumbs up to for Hyundai is the fact that you have the air conditioning vents in the roof area. If you were looking at the Honda Pilot, they're going to be down in this area. I like that because the vents are closer to the passengers, and that will help them to take advantage of the air that's coming out sooner than it would otherwise. And I showed you what happens as far as the time goes when we move the seat out of the way. How quickly does it move back into place? Well, there you go. You can see everything is going back to where it was before I pushed that button. And we'll find the rear seat pockets back here on the back of each seat. A grab handle at the rear doors only. There is not a grab handle for the front doors. An interesting thing, but that's the way that it is. And there's also the drawer right there. Keep things concealed away. And your air conditioning vents, once again, will be in the same place as they were for our 3rd row passengers. And here is the command center, not only for controlling the air conditioning, fan speed, temperature, you can see everything else that's here, but also, I dare not leave the heated seats on, but the middle row seat passengers will have ventilated seats. And let's take a look at something here that I like to check. The armrests, a little bit short for me, but for some people that might work. But they are here. The seats are nice and comfortable. And a couple of things here to note, nothing out of the ordinary or new. There's a USB port and another for the passengers back here. We also have our power outlet right here. And then, kind of an interesting thing, the seat controls on the side of the seat right here. If the kids or even the adults want to prank whoever is sitting in the seat right there, well, I guess they can do that. That's very interesting. Or maybe that person sitting in that seat is too lazy to use their own seat controls, which are on the seat, by the way. And they'll say, hey, adjust the seat for me. And I told you about the sunroof options that we have here for the rear passengers and for the front seat passengers, and just so you can see everything that's here. Now that shade is going to be manual in the front seat. It does open as far as the glass goes. You can't open the glass back here, but you have a power shade. Let's talk about what your front seat passenger and the driver will find. One thing that's interesting here is the fact that there seems to be something missing right here. It's almost too much space without some kind of trim or something along those lines to kind of break that up. But tell me what you think about that. Some people might say that looks really good. Nice large armrest here. The design of the door handle is different, but I think it works, looks nice, and we have our door bin right here. And you can see what we have as far as the seat goes right here, as far as the different options for positioning everything and being comfortable. We also have lumbar support built in. And something else that I think should be here that not is some kind of space right here for storage. It looks like there should be, but there is not. Now there is a little bit above the glove box right here, a very small area. There's your glove box itself, a little bit of space. And we have the pass-through right here with the 12 volt that's right down there, a little bit of space above that for storage. And connectivity in the way of USB options. And the button right here is for the UV cleaner. And you might wonder, if you've looked at the Hyundai Santa Fe, where that is located. It's actually a much larger area, which is going to be within the center console. That is basically it. That's what you see on each side right here. So you can put items in there and clean those if you need to. And there's a lot more options where that's concerned, because a lot will fit in there. Here is your wireless charging pad and your cup holders. We will also find the upper console with the control for our rear power shade and for opening and closing the power sunroof here in the front seat area. The sticker price on this model is $57,800. We'll find a head-up display. You better have a head-up display for that price. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is there. We have the digital rear view mirror, if I can get that out of my mouth, or you can use it as a conventional rear view mirror, depending on what you want. Now, the one thing you'll notice that's missing here is a sunglass holder. There isn't one in the vehicle anywhere, although there's plenty of space to store things like that. You also have your wireless charging pad down here. And then over here on the driver's side door, seat memory. That's what these controls are. The controls for your side view mirrors, lock and unlock. We will also have everything for our doors right here. Pretty easy to deal with. You have some of your other controls right here that I know a lot of you are already familiar with. But for those of you wondering where the power parking brake is, there it is. You can drop the lever right here to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls. You also have your paddle shifters on the rear for going back and forth through your 8-speed automatic transmission. And right here, everything for controlling your headlights and taillights. Depending on what you want to do, you can just leave that on auto. And something I like here that I wish more vehicles had. This is why it's a good idea to use your blinkers, especially on this Palisade, because when appropriately equipped, it has the mirrors that will give you the camera, the view into your blind spot. I really like that. It works out very well. 12.3-inch driver's display or instrument cluster, as you can see. A very nice modern look. I like that. But one thing that I think is going to be very interesting among buyers, tell me what you think about this. And it's not so much the shifter right here, but this is nothing unusual, but it's the fact that right here is the button to turn the engine on and off. What do you think about that? Should it still be up in this area somewhere, as so many of us are used to having? I'm curious to know what people think about that. That is an interesting change. And we will also have our 12.3-inch center screen. It's going to have a little bit of a curvature to it to be angled towards the driver focus. You can see that you have your built-in navigation right there. We have quite a few different things going on here as far as that goes. You've got voice memo. You've got your phone projection. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. We can go to the dash cam right here. And I'm not sure that I can show this to you right here, but it is something that's here and worth mentioning. Not sure that I'm going to be able to give you too much information to talk about, but it's here. It's worth noting. Tell me what you think about that. Is that something you've been waiting for? I know some of you may have been. And we can go right here to setup, depending on what you need to do. Here is basically everything you can know about and change with the vehicle. Quite a bit going on where that is concerned, depending on what you want to do. Screen layout, buttons, all of that's going to be here. But it's pretty simple to deal with and pretty simple to use. We'll also find that you have the nice bright camera, the different views, as I told you, all over the vehicle, including your 360 degree view. Let's get that correct right there. And then we have our additional views. I told you there are views everywhere. There's your side view mirror views. There's your rear view camera. What do you think about that? I think that it does a very nice job as far as this goes. And then there are other things you can do here. You can also go and look around from just about every angle. It won't let you go all the way under the vehicle, but it almost does everything. But I think that looks nice. It works. Definitely nice. You can go in here into your settings depending on what you might want to change as far as that goes. But just to show you a little bit of what's here and what's going on, it may look like a lot. Don't let that scare you off. It's actually not that hard to learn and use. You also have your general settings right here, depending on what you need to do. System information, date and time. You can see what all is there, depending on what it is you're looking for. And I did want to show you one thing. I'm not going to be able to show it to you, but I can tell you about it, and that is your ambient lighting, which we're going to go to right here. You've seen what I've done to get there. We'll try and get into a dark atmosphere when we can and show you the different options as far as that goes. We can go here and make changes as far as all of that goes. And to change the color, all we do is select color right there. And you can go to some of the colors right here. You also have a multitude of different colors that you can choose from right here. Nothing new for Hyundai, but it is here. It is something worth mentioning. And then you have a bunch of one-touch buttons right here as far as home, map. You can see what all is there. Easy to deal with. There is your hazard light button and the controls for your radio right here. Dual zone climate control here in the front seat area, as you can see. We also have our ventilated seats. We can turn those on and off. Same thing with the heated seats. I'm going to leave that on. Heated steering wheel is here too. And then we can sync both sides together if we want to, or we can individually change those depending on what we want to do. And you can see right there, I did the syncing right there to let that go. You can leave it on auto if you want to as well. And you have auto hold for your brakes right there and your drive mode selector. Let's go through the drive modes. Now you're going to start with normal. You have eco, and you'll see some of the changes that take place with the driver's display. We're going to go into sport mode. I think that looks nice. And you also have My Drive. Depending on what you want to do, you can go in and customize things. So a lot of individuality going on here. Things you can change, things you can set up. Works very well. All right, here we go on our first test drive in the 26 Hyundai Palisade. Seems to be running fine. Let's get on the pedal a little bit. We're not going to go too crazy, but we'll get up to speed here. I'm just driving normally. It gets up to speed just fine. When you need to, you can go into sport mode and take advantage of the acceleration. The RPMs of the engine will rise a little faster that way. And so if you need that extra power, it's going to do the job. But I don't think anybody is going to have any trouble getting down the road in the Palisade. It's easy to see out of. You do have all of your great safety features as far as your blind spot monitoring and everything you would expect to have here. And while I don't have it on, we'll turn it on for the sake of the video. There is the digital rear view mirror. And this model being all-wheel drive will offer a lot of great advantages, especially for those of you that live in areas where you have a lot of low traction issues to deal with during the year as far as snow and ice go. And so that's going to offer a lot of versatility compared to some of the other vehicles that are out there on the road that don't offer all-wheel drive. And so you definitely can take advantage of that. And we're going to make a quick U-turn right here, and we'll step on it just a little bit. This is brand new, so I don't want to get on it too hard. Now in normal mode, I have to admit, acceleration starts off a little slow. As the transmission makes its way through the gears, it does pick up some. Now I didn't drop it to the floor, so I can't tell you for sure what's going to happen. In that case, it might accelerate a little bit better. But like I say, one of you might be buying this Palisade, and I don't want you to be upset with me because I pushed it too hard on the test drive. The driver's seat is adjustable along with the steering wheel, which means that you can make yourself comfortable and be in just the right spot. No matter what your height is, you should be just fine. And the ventilated seats seem to do a good job. It's very hot today, and having this black interior is really the ultimate test for seeing how things like that work. Overall, I don't feel cramped here. I feel like I could take a nice long road trip and be just fine as far as being comfortable and arriving at my destination nice and rested and not having to worry about being worn out from an uncomfortable, unenjoyable ride. Everything is easy to get to. The brake and the gas pedal are easy to manage, and you have a pretty good turning radius for a mid-size SUV. Overall, I do think Hyundai did a good job here, but there's a couple of little things that I think they missed it on, such as the design of the door panels. I don't know, something just seems to be missing there, but some of you might say, you know what, Tom, I think it's perfect. I like the way it looks, and that's good because you're the ones who are likely to buy this vehicle. I'm not looking to buy a Palisade, but I'm curious to receive your feedback as always. Is there something that is not here that you were hoping Hyundai would add to the Palisade for this redesign? And there it is, the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Did Hyundai make the right changes? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm always curious to receive your feedback based on what's been presented in the video. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Hyundai for loaning me this Palisade for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. I appreciate it. Make sure to share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you haven't subscribed, please be sure to do so. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.